Hello, and welcome to Joyful Business TV. I am Laura West, the CEO of the Center for Joyful Business and a creative mindset and business success coach. And I am normally the host of your show, Joyful Business TV, but today I am off traveling. I'm at a retreat in Guatemala. I can't wait to come back and share that with you. So I'm going to be introducing my guest host in just a moment. So, Joyful Business TV, here we are all about helping conscious, creative entrepreneurs who are also highly ambitious and they want a different way to run their business that is not about soul crushing strategies and hustle. And they want to bring to life their business and bring it to their soul tribe in a way that feels really good, right? It's really authentic, it's real, it's generous, it's caring, and so that's what we talk about on Joyful Business TV is how to grow your business. I bring you different business leaders and conscious business owners who've been doing this for themselves. So before I go and hand it off to my guest host, I do want you to know that I deeply, deeply believe that you are designed to flourish and that we just need to release the possibilities. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about possibilities today. I'm going to introduce my guest host. You're going to meet her shortly, Dr. Davia Shepard. And she is with her business is Ladies Power Lunch and Grow Smarter, Not Harder. And she is one of the most amazing women I know around collaboration. So she's going to talk about how to grow your business and get more visibility using creative collaborations or creative joint ventures. I can't wait for you to hear from Davia. I hope you enjoy the show, and I will see you on the next episode.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Dr. Davia Shepard. So, thank you so much, Laura, for such a brilliant introduction. Thank you also for giving me the opportunity to host your show today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Davia Shepard. I am the host of the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show right here on your Win Win Women Network. My show comes on every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific. So if you like what we're doing today, I invite you to tune in to my show and add that to your list of shows that you watch right here on the Win Win Women Network. Today's going to be a great day. We're going to talk a little bit about collaboration. Guys, I love collaboration so much. I wrote a whole book about it. I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder here. My book is called Grow Smarter: Collaboration Secrets to Transform Your Income and Impact. It's available on Amazon. It's a multiple best-selling book. It is an international bestseller because people really, really like the idea of collaborating. They like the idea of getting together and doing things together, but the framework of how to do it in a way that is heart-centered and in a way that actually works is really what we outline in this book. And I want to talk a little bit about that today, but you might have noticed the title of our show is focused on visibility. What I know for sure, y'all, is that even before the pandemic, even before these times that we're going through right now, we have found it as the heart-centered entrepreneurs perhaps a little bit more difficult than the broy marketing types to get our messages heard in that media landscape that is the internet. And so for many of us, especially those of us who might be a little more introverted, a little bit more quiet in our approach, we might not be the ones doing the dances on TikTok. Whereas if you are doing dances on TikTok, hey, I embrace that. I welcome that. There are times when that's something that I do, but that's not how I am generally. That's not my way of being. And so if you're more focused on being heart-centered, focusing on your clients, really, really getting to know people on that one-on-one basis, it can be a little bit difficult to feel like you're competing with all the noise that's out there. And so what we're going to talk about today, guys, is we are going to dive really, really deeply into, and I'm going to give you all the nuts and bolts. I'm going to throw it out here. We're going to dive deeply in exactly how you, as a heart-centered entrepreneur who's ready to make a difference in the world, how you can get your business visible to not just anybody. We're not talking about just throwing spaghetti at the walls. We're not just talking about, doing social media ads or things like that. We're talking about organic, real ways that you can get your business visible to the people who need you most. Those people who are losing sleep at night because they need the service that you provide. Those are the people that we want to connect with. And that is what this particular strategy works to get you. So buckle in, guys, because I'm going to go through all of this really quickly. We only have about a half an hour to get all this information in. So I want to get started. We're going to talk about the 3 things that you want to focus on when we're talking about visibility. And then I'm going to go into 4 tools that are going to help you to be visible. The first thing that I would say is, and I go into great detail into this in my book, Grow Smarter, because it's what I truly believe in. It's what wakes me up in the night at nights. It's what gets me up in the morning and gets me into the office to get on my Zoom calls with my clients or gets me into seeing my clients. Collaboration. You want to make sure that, well, before we even get to collaboration, let's start at step 1. And step 1's going to be networking. And now I know you're like, oh, here we go. This is the traditional old way of marketing our business that you're bringing to me. And I'm saying to you that this is a brand new paradigm. This is really a new way of approaching perhaps what is an old way of doing things. So I invite you guys to consider networking, but not in the old way that we're used to, but in a new way. I want you to think about networking in an aligned and intentional way. So I'm going to tell you a little story just really quickly. Back in the day when I left Big Pharma, where I was, working on drug development and that sort of thing, and I decided that patient care was where I wanted to focus my life and that I wanted to work in a holistic way with patients. When I made that step into private practice, guess what? Kind of had to fill my practice. And so just like everybody else, I hung my shingle and I sat in my office and I waited. And the patients, surprise, they did not show up. So my partner, who's older, wiser, suggested to me, you know what? You should probably join the chamber. And that'll be a really great place for you to network with people, get to know people. Went to the chamber, guys, and I gotta tell you, and there is a place for chambers. I recommend if you're in an area, go ahead and join the chamber that's located close to you. But my experience with the chamber was not ideal. What I felt like is that it was sort of like an old boys club, at least in the area where I was. I felt like I got a nice little pat on the head. I felt like I walked into these meetings and people are just bombarding me with business cards, and nobody wanted to hear about my business or what it was that I was doing. But my focus in life has always been more along the lines of those heart-centered connections, those real connections that make a difference, where you actually, how they talk about that know, like, and trust factor. Well, one of my dear friends who's part of the women's group that I host called Ladies Power Lunch, and you can find us ladiespowerlunch.com, or you can find us on Facebook at Ladies Power Lunch if you want to be a part of that sort of heart-centered networking arrangement. One of our members, she talks about the know, love, and trust factor. And so right away, that's the direction I wanted to head into. Fortunately for me, I met 6 women at the chamber who felt the same way that I felt. And so I invited them all to lunch. I said, hey guys, come on, let's have lunch. And we met in a Ruby Tuesday on Route 6 in Bristol, Connecticut, away from the chamber, away from the noise. And we sat down to lunch, just me and these 6 women. And it was amazing. These women said this was the best lunch they'd ever had because everybody who came to the table came with a heartfelt intention to be supportive of the other. Nobody was coming to try to sell anybody anything. It was just, we are women, we are together, let us support each other. And everybody left that lunch that day with something that they needed. It could have been, I remember there was one woman in the group who what she needed was she needed a babysitter. And I remember there was another woman in the group who said, you know what, I never share my babysitter with anybody. And for those of you who have little kids, you will understand what she's talking about. I'm going to share my babysitter with her. Boom, connection made, somebody had what she needed. There was another woman who needed some support with her elderly parent. There was somebody in the group who was able to make a connection with her. I needed patience. There was one woman in the group who even sent me her mother-in-law. Now, guys, I have a fantastic relationship with my mother-in-law, but I'm also very careful who I would introduce her to. So that level of trust for somebody to recommend to me her mother-in-law, somebody recommended her husband to me. By the time I left, I had at least 6 new clients who were going to be signing up to come see me in my office. That's what happened on that particular day. There's one woman who was a part of that initial meeting that she and I, we are business partners to this day. Last time I spoke with her was when she called me, I think it was probably about a week ago, we were talking about venues for my upcoming summit. She was talking about checks that she sent me. I mean, just 6 women in a Ruby Tuesday. So when I start talking to you about networking, please believe this is not your grandfather's networking that I am recommending. I am recommending that you look at your connections, look at your contacts, see who's leaning in, who is actually making an effort to have some kind of really positive interaction with you. And go ahead, set up some coffee dates and really spend some time not trying to sell them anything, not at this stage, but trying to get to know them, get to know what they're about, and seeing where there might be an opportunity for stage 2. So stage 1 is networking, but it's not the old guys networking. It's that heart-centered, intentionally aligned networking, that real true connection. Step 2 is collaboration. A lot of us have some post-traumatic stress around the idea of collaboration. We want to collaborate. We're built for collaboration. We live in community where we know that each person has a role and that when we get together, things go so much better than when we're going it alone. Yet, for so many of us, we are in our world. We're working as entrepreneurs. Many of us are solopreneurs. And so we're kind of siloed in our businesses, and we're not really making the kinds of connections that can lead to us working together in business. And then many of us might have this memory. I know I do. Remember when you were in college and you got to do these group projects? There was always somebody, I can tell you stories, guys, of the people who they only show up on the day when we're going to get our grade. We never saw them the whole time we were doing the project. They just showed up at the end. There are the people who did a little bit, but let's face it, not that much. And then there were the people like me who, you know what? I'm not letting anybody make me get a low grade. So I'm going to put in 110% of the work. And a lot of us have that memory. And so when we think about our business that is so precious to us and our clients that are so precious to us, we feel like, you know what? Diving into a collaboration with this precious thing that is our business can be a little challenging. And so that's why in my book, Grow Smarter: Collaboration Secrets to Transform Your Income and Impact, I talk about the 5 steps to making sure that your collaboration in your business, so you've met these people networking in a heart-centered way, and you found somebody that you feel like they might be a great collaboration partner. These 5 steps make sure that the 4 steps, the 4 pillars of a true collaboration are met. It makes sure that you win. It's that win, 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 win. We're on a win-win women network. So we're always talking about winning. And make sure that you win. How many of us as entrepreneurs, when we are in business, we're serving everybody and not necessarily serving ourselves? This makes sure that you win. This makes sure that your collaboration partner wins as well. Let's make sure that your client wins. Beautiful thing about a collaboration is that the product that your client would get with just you working with them and the product that your client would get with just your partner working with them, it actually is amplified more than 2 times when they actually get a product from both of you together. So the client wins because they get an even better product than they ever would have imagined. And finally, that fourth win is the increase of the vibration of the planet when we are working in that flow, when we're working in that alignment. So the 5 steps to making sure that you get that win, 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 win happening for you in your business, they're very simple. We start with step one, which is ask. I know you're thinking, oh, I need to go ask somebody to collaborate with me. Actually, not yet. Step one, ask, requires that you ask of yourself, ask the universe, ask source, whatever you call that higher power, that other part of you that knows deeply. Asking requires that you do some deep introspection. Take some time for quiet contemplation. Go within and ask, what is going to be the best and highest good for a collaboration? When you do this, I have to tell you a little secret. When you do this, perhaps you might not need steps 2, 3, 4, and 5 because you get so many amazing answers when you go within, when you trust yourself, when you're actually able to tune into intuition, tune into source, trust the universe. So, step one, it's going to be that asking. Step two, Step two is alignment. A lot of the times when we talk to people about collaboration and we ask, what's the number one thing that comes to mind for you when you think about a great collaboration? Actually, a lot of people say communication. Communication is true, but you want to make sure that the communication is aligned. You ever in a conversation with somebody and you feel like you're talking and they're talking, and there's somehow you're not talking about the same thing, apples and oranges? That's a misalignment. What you want to make sure of is that there's alignment with values, there's alignment with communication, that there is alignment between you and your purpose and the purpose of your collaboration partner. And yes, that starts with conversation. That starts with communication. Step three, that's going to be checking in to make sure everybody's all in. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Rewind back to that project that we did back in high school or in college, where one person's all in, the other person not so much. And I'm going to even go so far as to say that there are times when I have to check in with myself to see, am I all in? Am I really about this? Is this something that I have the space, the bandwidth for? Making sure that I'm all in, making sure that my partner is all in, make sure that the collaboration is that win, 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 that the client is getting exactly what they need, and that the universal energy is raised in the way that it needs to be. The next piece is assignment, making sure that everybody who's part of the collaboration is doing the thing that makes their heart sing, doing the thing that is their brilliance. I thought, tell you a story about a little collaboration that I did the other day. I thought I was great at making websites. Look, guys, I've been doing business for so long, and you know what it's like when you're a solopreneur. You learn to do a lot of things yourself. You spend a weekend learning this thing, and then you do it yourself. I have done a lot of DIY. I've moved away from that now, and I tend to work with experts, because what I know for sure is that when we are working in our brilliance, when we're doing the things that we're particularly good at, and we're not focused on the thing that is not our brilliance, that's when we shine the most. And so I got into this collaboration with this beautiful, beautiful, wonderful woman. And I was saying to her, okay, so you'll do this thing and I'll make the website. And then Source said to me, you should go look at her website again. And I did. And I said to her, so who did your website? Because it's beautiful. And she's like, oh, I did it myself. Turns out she has some degrees in web design and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, why would I pick up the mantle of going to do being a do-it-all that I am, going to do the website when clearly she has the brilliance in that regard? So it goes back to the alignment, right? Are we in alignment with communication? Are we being open with what our desires are, with what we want to do and what the other people want to do, and letting everybody work in their brilliance? And then step 5 supports step 4, because step 5 is applications and resources. And this means that you're in a collaboration with somebody. Nobody's a slave to the collaboration. So you get to do the thing that's in your brilliance. They get to do the thing that's in their brilliance. And guess what? There are going to be a bunch of tasks that is not within anybody's brilliance. Look for applications, look for resources, look for human resources, look for VAs, see where you can get support for all those other things, so that nobody feels overworked or overwhelmed, and nobody feels like the collaboration is dragging them down. Instead, they feel like it's an uplifting activity. So step 1, heart-centered networking, not your grandfather's networking. Step 2, collaboration. And now step 3. Here's the step 3. Step 3 is that visibility piece, because you know that you are here to share your message with the world. You know that you're a heart-centered entrepreneur here to make a difference, and your message needs to get out there. Actually, this is not a maybe. This is a have to do. You have to get your message out there. You have to get seen and you have to get heard. And so there are 4 steps, there are 4 pieces to this puzzle. I say start at that collaboration. And when you get into a collaboration, one of the things that you want to do is you want to do some collaborative marketing. And that's the first piece that leads right into the visibility. You can use any of these 4 things to get more visible. In our company, Grow Smarter, we actually use all 4, and we have a framework that's built out for our clients so that they do all the things, and they have a support of about 20, 25 people who are also doing this co-marketing with them. Here's how it works. Let's do a little bit of math. We only have a little bit of time left, but let's do a little math, guys. And it's early in the morning where we are right here. So I know doing math might feel a little overwhelming for you, but here's the thing. Most of us, I've done the polls. Most of us have between 2,000 and 6,000 connections when we talk about our email lists, our connections on LinkedIn, connections on Instagram, connections on Facebook, the number of people who tune into when we do our lives, see our posts, see our emails, people that we know, anywhere between 2,000 and 6,000. So let's say you have your 2,000 people, you put your work out there. Maybe they'll see it, maybe they won't. Now, if you and I are working together, that's 2 of us, we would have somewhere between 4 and 12,000 people seeing our marketing if we do a collaborative marketing strategy. Now, let's do a little bit more math. In our company, when we do a collaborative marketing strategy, we have about 20 people. So that's about 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 people who see the marketing that we do. And here's the thing, when you go choose a friend, we're going to work through, this is what I would like for you to do. I'd like for you to really go pick 6 people that you think would be great for you to do some heart-centered networking with. Set up some calls with them and connect with them in a heart-centered way. Step two, go through the 5 steps of a collaboration. Ask. Once you've asked and you've chosen your collaboration partner, get into alignment. Make sure you're all in. Make sure everybody's assigned appropriately and check out all the apps and resources that can support you. And then do a collaborative marketing strategy together. Take your audience and their audience and put it together, and boom, you've doubled, tripled, quadrupled the reach that you have. You can get visible in using any of these 4 tools. You can get visible through writing. Writing encompasses a number of different things. You can do articles, you can post them on Medium, post them on LinkedIn articles, post them on your website, post them on your blog, post them on each other's blogs. You can be part of an anthology. We do a lot of that with our company. You can do your solo writing project. You can get 2 authors together and do co-author a book together. You can do any sort of thing like that and do a writing project. What that helps to do is give you authority in your field. You're sharing the information that you know. So you're giving, but also giving people an opportunity to see you, see what you do, and pulling them in, pulling in the people who automatically are connecting with you. Second thing is media. Win-Win Women Network is a great place for you to have something like a TV show. You could have a podcast. You could have a YouTube channel. And in collaboration with your collaboration partner, you could have a show where you're both co-hosts, whether it's your TV show or your podcast, or you could have your show and they have their show, and you guest on each other's show and you share your show with each other's audiences. It's just that supporting each other that makes all the difference. With our company, again, we have about 20, 25 at a time people in our program. And so we're sharing that out to 60, 70, 80, 100,000 people. And it's not just 100,000 random people, it's 100,000 people who are your best clients. The third piece is collaborative branding strategies. So you and your partner can get together and go sit with a graphic designer and make up some beautiful visuals that help to call in your clients. You can do some email marketing together. You can do some social media marketing together. And all of this is organic. You can build funnels together. All of this organic marketing. And last piece, speaking. So speaking can be participating in workshops, participating on summits or conferences or retreats, or you can even host your own workshops, host your own summits, host your own conferences or retreats, and you can do it together, or each of you can have your own and support each other as you do it together. The key here, guys, is that when you do it together, you amplify your audience. It's more than just 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 that's greater than 2. You have to realize that there is really no such thing as competition. The people who are meant to work with you, they cannot not work with you. They will always choose you. You don't have to worry about competition when it comes to working with other people. On my show, I usually pull a card at the end of the show just to give us a nice little thought for the day. And so I pulled a card, and it's from the Sacred Rebels Guidebook by Alana Fairchild. And this one says, "What you want wants you." I think it's perfect for what we are talking about today. It says, "Do you dare to believe that what you want is wanting you? The genuine desires of your heart are the sacred purpose of the soul, swathed in pleasure. Yet, if you've been shamed, judged for, made to feel guilty over, or denied your natural desires or pleasures in any way, you may have developed a very tricky and complicated relationship with the yearning of your heart." And this makes me think a little bit about like some of the post-traumatic stress that we might have around this idea of networking or collaboration or doing visibility projects with each other. We often learn to distrust our own desires and come to believe that there's something to be overlooked, overcome, or avoided. We may even try to want second best, disbelieving that we're worthy of our first choice of what we really genuinely want and would fulfill us deeply. This article comes with a healing message for you. First, trust in what you truly want. You might not know anything more than I want to sing, or I want to write, or I want to help animals, or I want to paint. Start with what you know and hold it in your heart. Hold it in your heart. It's been such a pleasure to be able to be the host for the Joyful Business TV show today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I invite you, do come watch my show sometime. I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching this episode of Joyful Business TV. I want to invite you to get more creative strategies and support for growing your business. You can start right now by activating your abundance mindset with a really powerful creative visualization that will help you get into the universal abundance current, one of my favorite things to do. And you'll also get a companion 7-day journal that will help you create a daily habit of co-creating with the universe. These are two powerful resources that you can get started right now to help grow your business and activate that abundant mindset. You just go over to activateabundancegift.com